So this video is designed to help you a little bit with that worksheet that says what should you not do if you want to help get rid of graffiti. So this video or this worksheet is over distributive and let me get a marker. Distributive and combining like terms. Combining like terms. So whenever you see the words simplify each expression or simplify an expression means that we're dealing with one side of the equal sign of an equation. So if we have an equation, you've got some terms over here, some terms over here. So whenever you're distributing or combining like terms, you can only combine on one side of the equal sign. So we don't have to worry about that since this is just combining and distributive practice. But once we get to equal signs, you'll have to be careful to only do it on the left or right of the equal sign. All right, so I'm going to pick out some random ones and kind of maybe some ones I think might be struggling. So let's look at number 2 real quick. Number 2 has 2x minus open parentheses 9x minus 4 close parentheses. All right, so remember with distributive property, we are distributing whatever term is to the left. So you distribute whatever term, so it's just one term, whatever term is to the left of a parentheses. And that term you distribute to each term inside the parentheses. To each term inside the parentheses. All right, so that means 2x, we have 2x minus and then open parentheses. So that means this negative separates this term with any terms over here. So we're going to assume we're going to separate this because we only distribute one term. So don't distribute the 2x. The 2x is going to carry down once we distribute this. So you're going to distribute this negative sign to each term inside the parentheses. So we need to find out how many terms are inside the parentheses. We have a negative sign here. So remember, terms are separated by negative and positive signs. So that means 9x is its own term and negative 4 is its own term. So that means we're distributing this negative to 9x and to negative 4. And when I say distribute, that means to multiply. So we're going to rewrite this as, so this term is off here to the left, so we're going to carry down that 2x. So treat, whenever you have a sign to the left of the parentheses, you treat that as either a negative 1 or a positive 1, depending on whatever sign you have. So we have a negative sign, so I'm going to treat this as a negative 1. So I'm multiplying negative 1 to positive 9x and negative 1 to times negative 4. So negative 1 times positive 9, you should get negative 9x. So we multiplied that term. So now we need to distribute this negative 1 to negative 4. So when we're multiplying, two negatives make a positive. So negative 1 times negative 4, you get positive 4. So make sure if you are confused with multiplying, dividing integers, make sure you refer to that cheat sheet that I had you glue into your composition notebook. All right, so now we got rid of the distributive. So distribute is the first step. The second step is combine like terms. All right, so we're left with this. So remember, there's two criteria that has to be met whenever you are combining like terms. So the first criteria is that all terms must have same exponent and same variable, with the exception of constants. So remember, constants are numbers on their own, separated by positive and negative signs. So that means this 4 is considered a constant, and it will be able to be combined with other numbers that are by themselves in between positive and negative signs. All right, so now we need to identify how many terms we have. We have 2x, separate our negative and positive signs. So remember, a term is separated by negative and positive signs, so that means negative 9, include the sign, is its own term, and positive 4 is its own term. So now we need to see they have the same exponent. There are no exponents, so we assume they all have the same exponents, and they have the same variable. Positive 4 doesn't have a variable, but these two terms have an x variable, so that means we can combine 2x and negative 9x. So don't forget. Keep in mind, when you're combining like terms, you're not multiplying. You're adding or subtracting. So you're taking 2 and subtracting 9, or you're taking negative 9 and adding positive 2. So negative 9 plus 2 would be negative 7. Carry down your x, the variable stays the same. I'm going to cross that off so I don't duplicate, and then we have our positive 4 left. So that means, so now we have two terms, same exponent, but they don't have the same variable, so that's how we simplify and how we rewrite this expression. So this one would be negative x plus 4. Let's take a look at another one, maybe one that's kind of a little lengthy. Let's look at number 11. So number 11 has negative 2, so negative, and then open parentheses 2 minus x, close parentheses, minus 3, 6 plus 8x, close parentheses, minus 12. All right, so first step, remember, is distributive. So that means we're going to look at our inside of parentheses, find out how many terms. So we have positive 2 and negative x as a term, positive 6 and a positive 8x as a term. So that means we have a negative sign out to the left. So the term out to the left is a negative 1. So we're going to distribute, which means to multiply that negative to positive 2 and that negative to negative x. Same thing over here. We have a term of negative 3. That's going to be distributed to the positive x, and that's going to be distributed to the positive 8. All right, so now we're not going to bring this down. This is going to come down. I'll do that a little bit later. I'm going to distribute first. So negative 1 times positive 2 is negative 2. Negative 1 times negative x. So remember, when multiplying, two negatives get you a positive. And negative 1 times negative 1x would be just x, or 1x. All right, so now we come over here. So negative 3 times positive 6, you should get negative 18. And then negative 3 times 8, you should get negative 24. Keep that variable. And then we have this negative 12 term off to the side. We're going to bring that down as minus 12. And then from here, so we got rid of our parentheses. So now from here, you're going to combine like terms. So we got negative 2, positive x, negative 18, negative 24, and negative 12. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 terms. So here's a plus 1x, a minus 24x, and that's all the variables. So now we say negative 24 plus 1. So remember, when you're combining, you're not multiplying or dividing. You're adding or subtracting, adding and or subtracting. So negative 4 plus 1, you'll get negative 23x. Keep our variable and cross those out so I don't duplicate. I'm going to type this on the calculator. So we have negative 2 minus 18 minus 12. Our largest number is 18, and the sign is negative, so we know our sign is going to be negative. So I'm going to go ahead and put that negative. So 18, negative 18 minus 12. We should get 32. All right, so how many terms do we have now? So we have this negative sign, nothing out to the left, so that means negative 23x is its own term. Here's a negative sign, so negative 32 is its own term. Can we combine these? Look at the rules. Nope, because they don't have the same variable. So we're left with negative 23x minus 32. And that's the simplified version of the expression as much as you can get.